So everyone seems to be telling you that you need to be doing content on social media in 2025. But what nobody seems to want to talk about is the differences between all the different social media platforms and the fact that spending time on some platforms can actually be a complete waste of time compared to spending time creating content on other platforms, depending on what kind of business you've got. And we know this because in one of our businesses, we've been posting content consistently for a few years now on multiple different platforms. And it is insane the return on investment that some platforms get compared to others. So in this video, I want to show you what we've been doing and the fact that we've generated over $2 million purely from content marketing. So purely from posting content, not doing ads, not doing outreach, doing anything like that. And I want you to start to think about what platforms you should be focusing on. Because if you don't think about this, if you just start posting content on different social media platforms without thinking about what is going to get the best ROI, you can spend 100 hours, 1,000 hours on the wrong platform and get far less results than if you just spent 20 hours or 50 hours on a different platform. And so that's what this little video is going to be about. So anyone that tells you that one platform is better than the other is full of it. They don't know what they're talking about. Like, every platform has different strengths, different weaknesses, and obviously it should come down to your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, one thing that no one seems to one thing that everybody seems to get wrong when they talk about this is they say, oh, you have to post on LinkedIn because my demographic is on LinkedIn, or my product is targeting mums, therefore I need to be on a platform where lots of mums are, like Instagram and TikTok. And this is such simplistic thinking that it's almost downright wrong. For example, I was running a webinar the other day and people in the comments were talking about the fact that only younger people are on TikTok and, the older generation are not on TikTok. And, one particular business owner said, I only target older demographics, so I can't be on Instagram. First of all, if you actually look at the data and the demographics, is there are a lot of older people on Instagram. And so this statement that older people are not on Instagram is just completely false. It's actually a massive contingent of the population is on Instagram. And the other thing about this is that these platforms don't just segregate based on age. Like, it's not like you just open your phone and it figures out what age you are and then it forces you to open an app on an age-appropriate app. No, there are old people on TikTok and there are young people on Facebook. There are old people on Instagram and there are young people on LinkedIn. And so people think that, oh no, all these old people stick to the old people platforms and all the young people stick to the young people platforms. And it's not true. Yes, there is a bit of a skew in the demographic. There is a slightly larger population of young people on a platform like TikTok. But, and this is what got me all fired up as well, and want to make this video, is that the people that were commenting only need 10 clients per month to have their dream business. I know this because I asked them, how many sales do you need? How many sales do you need to hit your ultimate income, to make more money than you've ever made in your business ever before? And they all said between 5 and 10 people, because they're selling high ticket services that, paying thousands of dollars per month each. So if they got 10 new clients every month, it would be an extra $20,000, $30,000 per month every month in revenue, which is insane, right? And so the idea that, I can't target this particular social media platform like TikTok because my demographic isn't on there is absolutely insane. Because if you only need 10 clients per month, I can bet my life that there are at least 10 of your perfect target client on every single platform out there. I can bet there is 10 people in just the most random social media platforms that you've never heard of, right? And so the idea that I can't post on TikTok because my target market is older and therefore they won't be on there is flat out wrong, right? And this is the other thing, right? So this is a common sort of thinking. And if you've ever heard the quote, when most people zig, you should zag. Most people are zigging right now. So most people are thinking in this incorrect way of thinking. Therefore, that is a huge opportunity for you. So let me explain this. So if you're targeting an older demographic in your business, okay? I don't know what kind of business you target. Maybe you target in-home care or older demographics, whatever it is. And so you're probably thinking like the rest of your competition. You're probably thinking, okay, my older demographics aren't on TikTok. They're not on Snapchat. They're only on Facebook or they're only on LinkedIn. Therefore, if everybody is thinking that way, the most amount of competition for attention and for mindshare are probably on those platforms. Your competition is probably focusing on that platforms, and therefore the least amount of competition is on the other platforms. Okay, just think about that for a second. Like, we know that if you only need 5 or 10 or 20 clients a month, nothing crazy, and a platform like TikTok or a platform like Snapchat has hundreds of millions of users, you can guarantee that there are your demographic on that platform. It doesn't matter if 95 million of those users are not on that platform. It doesn't matter because the algorithms are so good these days anyway. Like your content and the words that you use, the AI picks it up of what your videos are talking about and what your content is saying, and it will find that small segment. So for TikTok, for example, like if there is hundreds of millions of users on there, it doesn't matter if nearly every single user on there is not your target market, as long as there are like 1,000 people on there that are your target market. Do you think it's possible that you could get 10 out of those 1,000? I think it's very possible, especially if we think about this competition factor, especially if we think about the fact that all of your other competitors are thinking about social media platforms in the incorrect way and thinking that they have to target a certain platform because of the demographics. You immediately have way less competition, and therefore ROI is going to be significantly better there. But my whole point of making this video wasn't necessarily about that. My whole point of making this video is to try and think about what your time is worth and where the return on investment from a time point of view is. Because like I said, like in our business, like we spend a lot of time making content, and not all content is equal. Some videos and posts are quick to post. Some videos take a lot of time, effort, and planning. Some require video editors. Some require fancy stuff. Some long form versus short form. There are like all of these factors that come into it. And the other day, I read a blog post that was like talking about the helpful exercise around thinking how other people would tackle problems in your business. And I thought about this, and I thought about like someone like Warren Buffett, because there's a famous story that Warren Buffett, when he went to dinner with someone when he was like 30 years old, so he was very young, and he went to dinner with this already like mega wealthy guy, and the wealthy guy, I can't remember his name, but he said that after that dinner, he went home and told his wife, he said, "This guy Warren Buffett I just had dinner with, I think one day he's going to be the most richest man in the world." And it's kind of insane for him to be able to predict that, all those years ago. And it made me think about why. Why was he able to see straight away? And it's obviously because of the way that someone like Warren thinks. And if we break down the way that someone like him thinks, what does he think? He's always thinking long term. He's always thinking about like compounding interest. He's always thinking about scalability. He's always thinking about trying to get the best return for where his money and where his time is. Warren's a big proponent of making less decisions but more impactful ones and all this sort of stuff. And so it really got me thinking about content, and if Warren Buffett was designed with the one task of creating content, and he had to do it to the best of his ability, he had to make the most money possible with doing content marketing for a business, like, well, how would he approach it? And this kind of thinking like really helped me, because immediately I thought, well, he would take all of those characteristics that he's used for investing and apply it to content and treat creating content like investments. So he would do the same thing. He would focus on making less investments, but making ones that had the best chance of success. He would focus on ones that had the chance of compounding over time. Essentially, he would be looking at the ones that have the most leverage, right? And so I'm a big believer that YouTube and long form content at the moment is still underrated. I think it's funny because like it's another story. Like when Tim Ferriss went to start his podcast in like 2014, 2015, all his friends told him not to do it. They're like, podcasting is dead, mate. Like that ship has sailed. Like it's too crowded. Everybody's got a podcast now. Like you're just entering like a red ocean, right? And they couldn't be more wrong. Yes, podcasting was a huge opportunity from like 2005 to 2015. There were not that many people doing it. And yes, it just exploded in popularity, right? And so it wasn't as easy to win in podcasting when Tim Ferriss entered it. But he proved that it was still possible to win. And obviously, like, Tim Ferriss is like mega popular guy, like not the best example. But the reason why I share this story is because it's like YouTube. Yes, the ability to win on YouTube was a lot easier when no one was posting on YouTube. And now it is much more crowded. Does that mean that you can't win? Absolutely not. And there's one key thing that has happened with that. It's this TikTokification of the algorithm. So YouTube has done what all the other social media platforms have done, which is take TikTok's algorithm and essentially said, okay, well, we're going to start sending out videos and social media posts to an audience, regardless of whether you follow them or subscribe to them or not. And the reason why this impacts me and you is because all of a sudden our videos are judged and based on an even playing field with huge and successful and popular figures online. And so this is actually like a really awesome opportunity. So yes, although the ship has sailed with YouTube and it is harder, it's almost easier because of the change of this algorithm. But not only that, all social media is hard. All social media takes time. Like, you have to invest a lot of time and effort and energy into posting content and posting quality content, because just putting mediocre stuff out there is not enough. Like, no matter, you can do it consistently over time and you will still get no results, because if you don't stop the scroll, if you don't get people actually engaging with it, if you don't get people actually finding it helpful, you're just wasting time, right? But coming back to like which platform I think has the best ROI potential. Once I thought about like how Warren Buffett would approach it, I realized that it was a bit of a confirmation bias for me with what I believe with social media. I still, don't get me wrong, I still believe there is huge potential in all platforms, and you can win on all platforms, right? But for me, I like trying to think of where my time can be best stretched. So if I invest an hour of time into something, what can that hour do from a best case scenario? And there's no doubt in my mind that YouTube is the number one upside platform for that point of view. For example, this video right now, I just got to work, put on the camera, tried to deliver value to you. Chances are this video will only get 500 views or maybe 1,000 views. But there is a high chance that this video, not high chance, but there is enough of a chance for it to be pushed out by the algorithm, not just like for the next week or so, but maybe for next month, maybe for the month after that, maybe every month for the rest of the year. And that kind of compounding for just like 1 hour's worth of work. I mean, it'll probably take me even less than 1 hour to like film this video, edit it, upload it to YouTube, and then have that working. And like I like to think of it a little bit like a farm, right? Like a farm, you plant the seeds, you water them, and they grow and they create produce. And then hopefully, if it's like a self-sustaining farm, like the produce keeps producing over time, again and again and again. And there's not many social media platforms that can do that. If I'm thinking about where my time is best allocated, and you should be thinking about this too, think about where you can film one thing and that thing work for you again and again and again and again. I guess like the discoverability of YouTube and the fact that you can film something and then every week, every month, if it's good enough, it'll continually show up in people's feeds ongoing, and those people will click on it and view your video like you've just posted it today or just posted it yesterday. That's insane to me. And then the other thing that's insane is the fact that because it's long form, like Google just came out with this study that is like the 7-11-4 rule or something about it. I can't remember the exact numbers, but the point is like you need at least half a dozen to a dozen hours of proper brand awareness and brand connection with someone in order for them to feel comfortable doing business with you. And if you just do simple math, like if you're doing short form content, videos that last 60 seconds, how many videos do you need to get up to 7 hours? Like golden rule, never do math live on camera, but you need like hundreds and hundreds of short form videos to get to that 7-hour mark. Whereas YouTube videos, I mean, this YouTube video is going to be short, might only be 10 or 15 minutes, but if you're doing YouTube videos or podcasts, like someone might watch this YouTube video and then go watch an hour-long podcast that I did on my channel, right? And then they might watch two. Maybe they're two 90-minute podcasts. And all of a sudden, it's like just by clicking this video, they've consumed like 3.5 hours worth of content, right? Halfway towards that 7-hour mark, right? And then over the next week or so, they might get to that 7-hour mark and they might be comfortable enough to want to do business, right? And that's an insane upside, not only from a discoverability point of view, but from like a building desire point of view. I always talk about the 3 Ds in client acquisition. You need discovery, desirability, and then some way of doing the deal. And if you're not getting clients, it's probably because you're doing one of those three things wrong. Like people aren't discovering you, or they are discovering you, but you're not building enough desire. And the reason why you're not building enough desire is because you're not spending enough time with them and actually helping them. Or maybe you are doing all those things, but you've got no way of funneling people into a deal situation and having a proper conversion mechanism or proper offer that can convert people into a deal format. And so YouTube is like one of the rare platforms that not only is probably the best platform at building desire, actually it is the best. Like there's no better platform. If we know that the amount of hours you spend consuming someone increases desire because we do business with those we know, like, and trust. The two best platforms are YouTube and podcasting. And YouTube is better than podcasting because YouTube is visual as well as audio, whereas podcasting is just audio, right? So with regards to building desire, there's no other better social media platform. So then the next question is like, well, the other social media platforms might be better at like short-term discoverability. Like it might be better to go viral. It might be easier to go viral on TikTok or easier to go viral on LinkedIn and get more views. So if more views equals more discoverability, but not all views then go into long-form content. Like not all views are equal. You know, you can go viral on social media, and this has happened multiple times with clients of mine, with friends of mine, even with our own content, get 1 million views on the video and get no clients from it. Why? Because sometimes people just like watching videos and they're not your target market at all, right? So discoverability is not everything. But this is where I like YouTube because it has a built-in discoverability factor into it as well, which none of the other platforms can really compare with. Having by far the best desire mechanism built in, but then also having a built-in discoverability algorithm. That's insane. The other platforms, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, yes, they've got probably an easier discoverability way, but even if you do get discovered, it's going to be so much harder for you to then push those short-term viewers into a way to build desire long-term, to get to that 7 hours per person with regards to like content consumption or brand awareness. So answering the question, best ROI platform for 2025, they all work. And you probably don't have to do YouTube, but with regards to like from a scalability point of view and a leverage point of view, it's hard for me to see a better opportunity out there right now. So hope this video was helpful. Talk to you in the next one.